I was listening to a TikTok in which a young woman gives very sound advice about trusting what you're reading and seeing, and that she doesn't understand how people can be so trusting on these platforms. And I think in part she's talking about that people are willing to believe anything they hear these days. This issue that bothers me so deeply as a someone trained in history, because the thing is, history's always been an incomplete thing. We cannot, by definition, any more than we can know what's truly going on in a lover's mind if they're not willing to open up. The past keeps its secrets, and we can we can get a good idea that this is the nuts and bolts of what happened, that person A did this thing and person B suffered these consequences. But we never fully know the story because we don't know what was going on in, person A's life versus person B's life. They're different perspectives. And the more I've gotten older, the more convinced I am that the only frame that makes any sense at all, whether you're a person of faith, whether you're an atheist, whether you're wealthy, whether you're poor, we have to truly start valuing life. Humans, there should be a level below which we can't drop. I am coping really well with total social isolation and abject poverty because I have art, but not everybody does, and not everybody can, and not anyone should be forced to lose everything just to survive. And I'm super lucky because I had a friend just bail me out financially for a little while, so I could get some things that I needed. But honestly, this it has been such an exercise in defiance to be working on my peace and my joy and my love when I'm this sick and having no luck getting any help for it because I already have issues, because I'm not somebody people believe worthy of the help, because I guess that I don't emote normally. I know that because I couldn't for so many years. People don't want you falling apart in a work environment from pain. They don't. If your family's the one causing the pain, they certainly don't want you showing it. I do have disassociation, and what I think of disassociation, to me, there is this part of it where you're not taking ownership of what's happening to the body. You are completely divorced from it, and I do use that. Don't get me wrong. If I'm in public, I'm probably pretty firmly disassociated. But right now, I'm what I think of as distanced from it, where I can create this space and quiet I need to flow, but I'm not pushing it away either. As I'm working, I'm thinking about the condition of the body, so I don't make art or press my eyes too long or do any of that. Um, but we were talking about trust, and that's the thing. When you strip people away out of their communities or their families, or if you are really kind of in a shitty situation like mine where you were an alien in your family and you never found a place where you were able to be part of community. Uh, but I don't think, in a way, it matters that I kind of had practice at this before I got sick, Because God help me, if 2020 had happened and I didn't have practice at this, I would have lost my mind. And I wouldn't have had this practice of dealing with pain and isolation already set up for the literal motivation of keeping me alive and living a life that is worth living. And I remember that the last time I was in the ER and I'm begging them to treat the head pain. I'm nauseous. The world was tilting so badly that I had to lay down on the floor so I could, be anchored as it moved. And I remember the doctor just taking a look at me and saying, no, I don't think so. And the judgment in that, the cruelty of it, that hospital wouldn't even treat the diabetes and the asthma and the sinus infection that I knew I already had. Not to mention looking at MRIs that showed problems. It was like I didn't exist. It was like I didn't, as a human being, matter. And that night cost me a lot of friends. Why are we made to believe that we're less, that we don't matter, and then take that isolation, take that loss of community and support and family, and then fill it with the misinformation that swarms around, TikTok and YouTube and the rest. The fact that I'm calling my work art, that I think it's beautiful, that I enjoy loving, that I feel when I make it, that doesn't necessarily make me more reliable either. And I am pretty certain that a lot of the things I think are the most healing of all, like the silence that will take over once I'm done speaking these words, by definition, no one else would find even remotely interesting. And I'm actually finally very okay with that. I am all right with this idea that I'm it's not that I'm damaged, it's that I'm so different. Whether it was the childhood or the education or just being neurodivergent and in constant pain, I don't know, but I'm incredibly lucky, and I've always wanted to share that as much as I can. I just know now that it's not with people actually being around me, and that has to become okay too, because the thing is, I've got nothing left to offer for any kind of relationship or apparently even friendship. One friend legit told me that I'm not worth her time or effort. And that's her truth. That's the scary part. That's her truth. She knows me. She's worked with me. She has helped me so many times in the past, and yet now I'm just not worth it. And I guess this is what I want to say tonight to, to anybody listening. We are all worth it, every single one of us. It doesn't matter if I'm part of your faith or culture, or that if I'm thin or fat. Because somebody recently told me the other reason why no one's helping me is because I'm fat. And I can't help that. I have digestive issues. I am already regretting the food that I ate a couple hours ago, and it'll be with me for a couple of days. So here I am in my solitude, very much aware that I am making a choice to love this moment, to love this goddess that I'm creating. To recognize the joy and the ridiculousness of this farce that I live. To have been so well blessed and privileged, and to be 41 and not, I'm sorry, 51. Oh God, that's hilarious. To be 51 and utterly alone and so very, very happy within it. I wish I'd been human, and I wish I could have gotten help before I became as vague as I am. It's been 18 months that I've been begging. And now I don't know, maybe it's too late, or maybe I'm just so tired. But I just find myself so grateful for what I've had that I can almost stop crying about losing this beautiful, beautiful moment.